That was some serious shit. We've only gotten that heavy in the campaign a couple of times, and I think one of them was also with Howard.
Yeah, I think it was the Zaroff thing, actually. Okay, which one do you want now?
Who's ready?
I have a toothache right now, so I think I should let Letty and you do next until my toothache gets better.
Well, Newt isn't here, so...
We're also going to need Casey for that. Or actually, not really.
Isn't there a part where you're just talking to Umlaut and Lilt?
Yep.
Let me see if I can find it.
We can at least record that part.
Technically, and I think about it. See, it's pretty much the only part needed.
Oh.
Yeah, I think all of it's on that one right there.
Stop and have to edit all of this together.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, most of these are pretty self-contained.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, this gets a little Quentin Tarantino-y, and there's like, oh, this connects to that scene from earlier, and this was before the next scene.
It doesn't. The thing you post doesn't also include like the kind of the part before where the letter's received.
Yeah, you just walk down to the mailroom.
Yeah. Also, yeah. I think something ended up getting her stuff as well.
Yeah, we can do that later.
Okay.
That's why I cut them up like this.
All right.
Yes. It dawns on the party that they have not checked their mail in a while.
As a realization hits her, she kind of have nothing better to do. Ayara just kind of picks herself up and kind of heads down to the mailroom. If she doesn't really know what she might get in the mail, but it's the thought that counts.
Hey, Ayara! It's me, Bogrel Stenchbladder! My mom sent me socks!
Oh, God damn it. Fucking voice always cracks me up.
That's why I check the mail every day! See you later! And after bumping into some other people, Ayara eventually gets to her mailbox.
You're just trying to figure it out, and it's kind of just looking through it, seeing if there's anything in it.
There is a letter in a red envelope with sealed with red wax that's oddly translucent, shaped into a sort of to resemble a jewel. It's wax, but it does a fairly good job of resembling like a carved sapphire or ruby.
Aaron's kind of is going to stare at it for several minutes, kind of not really sure how to react. You kind of turn it over a few times. Then it kind of looks around to make sure that no one, like as if she just stole something incredibly valuable. Then hugs the envelope up and just dashes up to her room.
I assume she gets to her room.
As soon as she does, so she kind of just get to her bed. Immediately kind of secure yourself away like in one of the corners and carefully open it up and read the letter inside.
Dear Ayara, it's me, Lilt. I was corresponding with my supervisor, and he said he could make sure this letter found you. I wanted to update you on how things have been going. I know that you worry. Working as the law on this island has been challenging, but it's also so rewarding. Things were looking so bleak when I arrived on this island a year ago, but now, when I travel from town to town, people are so much more optimistic. Some of it's my work, but some of it's yours too. The people in Uderson were particularly thankful for what you and your friends have done for them. Isn't that at all just swell? We're making a difference in so many lives. Maybe it's a little childish, but I feel like we grew up to be the heroes we wanted to be, you know? I got more business to take care of, so I'm afraid I have to cut this letter short, and hopefully this suffices for now. I've got a long trek to make. Apparently there's been some trouble in Ramina lately, and I volunteered to check that out on the RT's behalf. I'll be sure to tell you all about it when I'm done. Love you bunches, Lilt.
Ayara's going to read the letter several times over, or kind of smile only slightly. The name Ramina kind of puts a bad taste in her mouth. Ramina. Where have I heard that name? After she reads a couple more times, then pockets the letter before casting a sending spell and saying to Umlaut, Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Hello, this is Umlaut Schwal III. Who may I say is calling?
This is Ayara. We've got both good news and bad news. Mostly bad.
Go on.
Okay, good news is we got an ally on the Red Talon. Fifth Talon is also known as Lady Ruby, is my younger sister.
And the bad news?
She's heading towards a town called Ramina alone.
I see. So you're worried she'll fix things before you get there?
No, I'm worried that she might get hurt. So, or that someone else might accidentally get hurt. So far, nothing has been as it seems in this island, and this island, and what seems to be dangerous usually keeping things safe, and even more dangerous things. Plus, the towns don't seem to get the most accurate information out there, and innocent people could get hurt from it. I need everything. I need every piece of information that you have on Remy, and I need it as soon as possible.
Okay, well, it's a small town nestled between the mountain and a section of the swirling stream. The villagers excelled at pottery and fishing, back when they were still in contact with the mainland, with the former being particularly exquisite thanks to the unusual composition of the town's clay deposits. Very few of your predecessors ever attempted to venture out there after it went dark, though. It's on the far side of the island, which makes it harder to reach than most of the other towns. Our information essentially ends there. It's why we've got this whole expedition sort of thing going on.
How many people died? How many people died trying to check out, and what were they like?
Well, I can't say for sure on the death front. Disappeared is probably more accurate, given how many of the previous scouting groups are suspected of having gone rogue. It's a common problem when you're forced to recruit criminals. The last group to head towards Ramina consisted of a singer, a rich conspiracy theorist, a human supremacist, and a particularly heartless mercenary.
Doesn't make no matter make me feel better. You remember anything about those people? If they're still alive there, I don't really like the idea of someone described as particularly heartless, meaning Lil.
Well, the town of Ramina is run by a wealthy merchant family. Ramina's actually their last name. There were some stories of odd fish before the town went dark, and a ghastly smell. I don't know much more than that. It's why we're making these expeditions.
And it meant more the mercs you sent to them, like the most recent one. Any details about them they might have?
Well, they were Merkin's assignment rather than mine, and Merkin hasn't reported in for a while, but we often consulted each other on the dossiers of our charges. The wealthy conspiracy theorist was young, of aristocratic lineage, and convinced that flumps exist, so cuckoo. The musician was apparently some sort of giant talking chicken man. I've never encountered one myself, and Merkin is probably just screwing with me on that front, but there you go. Both were essentially harmless, perhaps a liability for such a dangerous mission, but we take what we can get. The human supremacist was named Karen or something like that. Aggressively bigoted and egotistical. We were relying on the idea that they could simply point him in his rage in the monster's direction and away from innocence. The fourth and final member of the team was something of an enigma, as most assassins choose to be. All I know is that she was remorseless, a little bit sadistic, hardened killer, and her voice sounded like a frog with laryngitis.
And did you have heterochromia?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
One eye pink.
Apparently dyed her hair different colors too.
One eye pink, one eye brown. Shit.
I mean, 2 different colors. Again, it's not my dossier. I
I'll call
just
you back.
remember Merkin being like, "She talks like this." It was strange.
I'll call you back later. I need to go message someone.
Rightio. Hope you're also well, Chelly.
It's going interesting. I'll tell you about. I can say that much. For now, I'll see you. Everything cuts off the spell and sends another sending spell to Lil. Come on! For the love of all that is holy, pick up.
It takes a while, but after 2 rings, Lil picks up the sending message. Ayara, did you get my letter? Third Talent said he'd make sure it was delivered.
I did, yeah. It's actually why I'm calling. Apparently, my current employer sent people there before and they haven't come back. Among one group of people seems to like it's a high possibility they went rogue. I thought I might maybe be telling you what he had and the information he had about them might help you.
Why are they bad people?
Definitely. One of them in particular matches someone that I never ever want near you. So an assassin I met years ago, one of the most sadistic ones I've ever known.
What kind of fighters are they? Sneaky, brute force, magic?
All I know the assassin, and she's a sneaky little shit, that's for sure. Keep an eye if you're in an alleyways or woodlands. Keep an eye up above you. She likes getting the drop on people. You're not going to be able to hit her. She's hit her. Spells and range is the way to go. As a prescription, she's short. She's got heterochromia. One eye's pink, the other eye's brown. She usually last I saw her, she was starting to dye her hair to different colors to match it. It was a stupid choice, but if seeing no match in the description, don't believe a word she says. It says and get as far away from her as you possibly can, and contact me. The moment you turn your back on her, she's going to stab you in the back, literally, multiple times. It happened, and it means sure, and I'll sure as shit happen to you.
Okay, I got it. I'll plan for sneaky fighters. Thanks bunches, Ayara. Love you.
I love you too, sis. Take care. Okay, off the call, Ayara's just going to start basically picking out all the wands she has and starts cleaning them off. If something goes wrong, she ends up having to go into showdown with who she thinks it is. Only one of them's going to come out of it alive. It's just not going to be, and it's going to be. Let's see.
Well, we'll cut this one off here just because we don't have everyone for the second half. Who's next on our list?
I sent Scott. I just noticed that the Mifal stock is missing a lot of the opening stuff, so I just sent that to Scott to
Okay.
add it in because I can't edit it in. Because it just opens up in the Merchant District without any context.
Well.
So
As we wait.
Yep. Yes.
Well, thief. I smell you and I feel your air. I hear your breath. Come along, help yourself. There's plenty and to spare. You have nice manners for a thief and a liar. You seem familiar with my name, but I don't remember ever smelling you before. Who are you and where do you come from, may I ask? Lovely title, but don't let your imagination run away with you. Barrel Rider, huh? And I have solved your riddle. Barrel was your pony's name, or if it wasn't, it was fat enough. I have ate 7 ponies just the other night. Revenge. Revenge. The king under the mountain is dead, and where are his kin that dare seek revenge? The master of the village of Dale is dead, and I have eaten his people like a wolf among sheep. And where are his sons that dare approach me? I laid low the warriors of old, and there are none of their like in the world today. Back then, I was young and tender. Now I am old and strong, strong, strong. I kill where I wish, and none dare resist. My armor is like tenfold shields. My fangs are swords. My claws, spears. The shock of my tail, a thunderbolt. My wings, a hurricane. And my breath, death. Anywho, how are you guys doing?
It's a beautiful day outside.
It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful morning.
Flowers are blooming, birds are singing. On days like this, kids like you should be burning in hell.
Speaking of which, Undertale the Musical, that's the next song that comes out tomorrow. Woo!
Stronger than you?
I still...
No.
Wait.
Oh, yes, the famous song Undertale invented, Stronger Than You.
They're actually, I think,
There was lots of Undertale parodies, yes, but it originated with Steven Universe.
It's so funny. And then, like, when other things cover Stronger Than You, the YouTube comments will be like, oh my god, is this from Undertale? It's great.
huh. I learned something new today.
No, the actual song is Megalovania, which is sort of Toby Fox's,
Personal theme, basically.
yeah, like, it's in everything he's been involved with. Often for moments that kick fucking ass. Speaking of, is this script ready? It looks ready.
Right.
Also, by the way, in the Google Doc, for TT, I think that TT was anonymous Efret. There's Scath and an anonymous Efret.
Okay.
I'm in as anonymous koala. No wait.
And I'm Hieronymus Bach.
There's a koala and a pumpkin.
It dawns on the group that they have not checked their mail. Lelia goes down to the mailbox and finds a simple white envelope. The wax seal has the letter K on it.
Lelia appears out of nowhere and sees the envelope. Looking shiftfully, she snacks away the mail from her own. And with a pop, she vanishes elsewhere, either by teleportation amulet or by invisibility, and sneaks off into a quiet or hidden location where she can read the mail away from prying eyes. She finds one of the oddly large to the point of being downright cavernous couches in the commons area, and opens her letter.
My dearest love, I must confess I was not entirely honest with you when we met last. While I was being truthful when I told you my main purpose for being here, I hid the fact that I had an ulterior motive as well. I have some deeply personal business while in town, and though I thought I was up to the task on my own, I think I may need some support. If possible, could you meet me in the Merchant District tonight, alone? Yours forever, Kay.
Lilia's eyes narrow, but soften. She did anticipate that. Anticipation melts with a slight tinge of anxiety, however, before it melts away into relief. She sneaks back into the common area, pocketing her letter, and places a simple note on the dorm room area. Compatriots, I have something to do tonight. I shall return later. Lelia. But also at the same time writing an invisible ink lent by Tig. Went to meet with Kay. Couldn't say this out loud, lest someone watched anew. Be back tonight. Look at dances. And with that, later that night, she enters the Merchant District.
To her surprise, Kay is waiting for her near one of the food vendor stands, clad in his recognizable outfit and mask, rather than his Hobo King attire.
Lelia is taken aback for a moment and asks, "Is it wise for you to be wearing that garb?"
No one in this town knows me in this guise, and with the fair coming up, I just look like yet another tourist. Not even the only guy wearing a mask. Look at that guy over there.
That's fair. I suppose that is true, she smiles softly.
Do you remember when we talked last? Well, second last, I suppose. During that meeting Anorton set up for us.
Vividly, that whole day was eventful. Had a run-in with my sire that day, after all.
I told you what I was doing at the time, didn't I? Taking out a demon lord, stopping a cult, overthrowing tyranny, the usual sort of thing.
Why, yes, our situations were oddly similar that day.
Well, that mission also had an ulterior motive. Kay pauses. He's awkwardly fidgeting with his fingers. I might have found my mother.
Lelia's face flashes with surprise as a single "oh dear" leaves her lips.
I know that I told you it didn't bother me that I didn't know her. After all, she was a demon, and honestly, what little influence over my life she had ended when I was born, but I can't help feeling curious. She's here in town, supposedly, and I'm curious. It's eating at me, and I just need to meet her just once. I know what your father was like. I know this is probably a bad idea, but I have to do it. I don't think I can do it alone, though.
We're here for each other, so I shall accompany you if you need me, Lelia says warmly.
Thank you. Kay then leads Lelia to a store that is very familiar. It's called Cat Killing Curiosity.
Wait, is this the place? He asked befuddled. I know the proprietor.
If my information is correct, the proprietor is my mother.
Lelia, meanwhile, does not know how to handle this. On one hand, it is a relief. On the other hand, it's, oh my god, she's my stepmother. Amongst other emotions.
Well, his mother-in-law, technically.
You're not in this.
I'm just like I'm saying out of character. Like it's like stepmother.
Yes, but this isn't a session.
Sip steps up. Anyways, let's go.
Well, I do not think you will have anything to worry about if she is as I think she is.
Lelia and Kay enter the shop. A melodious and chipper voice calls out, "Welcome to my curio!" Oh. The Faust looks up and sees Kay. Her eyes go wide. Her smile drops. Now, the first time that Lelia has seen her facade of cheeriness crack, but this is by far the most severe. Tears well at the corner of the woman's eyes. Kay, likewise, is not his normal self. There's an awkwardness to his body language, as if he feels he's too large for the room and wants to shrink away. Are you Faust? Lost for words, Faust can only nod in the affirmative.
Lelia remains silent, only being there to offer support, rarely as she is ever seen in such a weak position. It was surreal for her.
Why? Why did you leave me with him? I would not have been a good mother. You must know that, knowing what I am. Then why have me at all? Why did you bring me into this world at all? I had no choice. I've never had a choice till now. I have been pulled inexorably towards cruelty since my birth, and I haven't. You left me with him. You left me in this world that hates the very sight of me. I don't belong anywhere, and you left me like that. It was kinder than the alternative. I know this is little comfort, but you would not have preferred to stay with me. My cruelty could exceed his.
Lelia simply puts a hand on on Kay's shoulder in comfort.
Kay grabs her hands and squeezes it gently. It takes every ounce of control he has to maintain even this level of composure, and the assistance is valued. Didn't you love me? I did. In the twisted way of my kind, I did. And that love, toxic as it was, convinced me to leave you. Whatever your life would have been, my presence would have made it worse. Fine. Thank you, Mother. You were exactly what I expected. I should never have come here. Kay turns, gives Lelia a pained look, and moves to the door. Faust's eyes go wide as her son heads for the exit. The former succubus hops over the counter and runs to meet him. Kay stands straight in shock as he feels his mother's arms wrap around him for the first time. My beautiful child. I can't imagine what you've suffered. The world must have been a cruel place to you, cruel beyond imagining, but know this deep in your heart. You are loved, and love is what you deserve. Kay can't respond, and most he does a sharp intake of breath. Lelia notices a glint of tears trickling down his mask. You found a wonderful partner. You've made a life of your own. No mother could be prouder than you. You deserve better than me, Kay, and I deserve far worse than you. Don't judge your life by the likes of me or your... You are more than your... Be the person you choose to be, not the person others made you into. Kay takes a moment to grapple with his feelings, but eventually returns to Faust, holding his mother close for a moment. Thank you. You're welcome. It's the least I could do. I wish I could have done more. Her eyes turn to Lelia, and a mischievous spark returns to them. So, dear, you've been watching over my little boy all this time, hmm?
More like he's been watching over me. He helped me bring me out of a likewise bad place.
See? You found someone better already. Take her out for dinner, you crazy boy. No girl wants to spend this much time with the in-laws. Kay nods and gestures towards the door with Lelia.
Lelia, however, does not, as she says, also, I have come across something you have sought, my love, she says as she rummages through her pocket and produces a certain potion that the group would unlock as a potion of unlike alignment she pilfered from the group coffer.
And what's that, darling?
It is a potion made from a spell thought to be only legend. A spell by the original Hobo King, Lelia says flatly as she looks her love in the eye.
Ah! A spell of alignment potential. I've heard of that before. Do you want me to try it for you, dear?
If you so desire. I don't know what it'll do to you, but if you wish to be in mine life, it'll be a choice you will probably need to make.
I don't really deserve that, but... She looks at Kay. Perhaps you deserve a mother. The Faust downs the potion, stumbles, then faints, falling to the ground.
Lelia and Kay rushes over to his sister. Lelia speaks. This is normal. My goblin companion had the same reaction and he's fine.
Kay checks Faust's body, making sure she isn't seriously hurt. Though her breathing is labored, she's otherwise okay. Honey Bunch, did you say that was the Hobo King spell in that potion?
Indeed it was. Our goblin, Tig, he learned the spell and mass-produced it into potions.
Well, I've done some research on that. I don't think it works for demons, dear. But then she's not really a demon anymore, is she?
She was locked into this mortal form. She struggled with her heritage and her new emotions.
Well, let's put her somewhere safe. Kay and Lelia take Faust to the back of her shop and laying her in the cot in her office. Kay tucks her into the covers and watches his mother's breathing stabilizes as she falls into sleep. I'll have my agents watch over her. Lelia, can we take a walk? I need to think about this.
Yes. Yes, we can, she nods.
The pair take a pleasant stroll through some of the shadier parts of the city. Night is falling and the oil lamps have been lit. Stars light up the sky. She's nice. Nicer than I expected.
She high-fived me when she realized I kicked the shit out of Rubicante and Makin.
Perhaps that's where I get my irreverence. Do you ever feel trapped? As if you're pulled in 1,000 directions, none of them your own choice?
All the time. Trapped on this critique, trapped on this by my heritage, trapped by the whims of others. I'm sure you feel similar.
Exactly. I spent my whole life trying to break free of what was expected of me, and yet it feels like I always end up back where I started. I didn't expect her to feel that way too. All the demons we slayed, they seemed to be free, didn't they? I was envious of it. They reveled in every wretched act, free of consequence and guilt. I never considered.
Nor did I. It feels there's something off. Something I'm not quite placed. Rubicante. Monster he is. I expressed joy when I banished him and destroyed his cult. He had pride. I don't understand. There's something else at work. Something else on this island.
Most days I feel like I'm poisoned. That everything I touch withers and dies, but with you that feeling fades. You're saving the world, aren't you? You and your allies.
I hope we are. Saved many. Dragons, undead beings bound to destroy.
And I'll follow your lead. Enerton charged me with getting Shelley's advancements to the greater world, so it can prepare for the coming storm. I can think of no better person to lead that charge than you.
Her face becomes momentarily flushed. She's silent for a moment before speaking. Thank you, my love. Honestly, I was a bit kind of anxious when I found you were here. Anderson previously was stated not to be involved, and when I was told I would choose between the belief and my love, she bites her lip. This removes that fear and anxiety, she says with sudden. I am unsure I can lead, however, but I will try to ensure that Shelley opens herself up once more, and not end up like Hog or Market. Shelley, for all its quirks, its madness and lunacy, the world needs a place like it. But Shelley needs the world around it as well.
Don't be modest, honey bunch. You're doing fine and you know it. I can tell your group knows the situation far better than mine does. He bows with more than a little bit of dramatic flair. We are at your disposal from here on out. Congratulations! You have secured an alliance with the Hobo King's forces.
Your help is appreciated, my love. Thank you, she says as she takes his hand.
And the pair spent the rest of a lovely evening taking in the sights of Shelley, before each retired to their respective dwelling.